It is now my pleasure to introduce ACCT's newly elected Vice Chair, Celia Turner.
Thank you, Pete, and congratulations. We have had a number of outstanding speakers during this Congress. Today, we will conclude with a final speaker who is definitely worthy of joining this list and who is one of our own. Richard Desich was instrumental in decision-making during his 35-year tenure on the Lorain County Community College Board of Directors. Under his leadership, the college created an addition to its official plan, approved by the Ohio Board of Regents, to incorporate economic and workforce development into the college mission. He established and developed a foundation for the college, which has grown to nearly $30 million in assets, making it the 15th largest community college foundation in the country. Wow, we can use him at my community college. Dick's Business Equity Trust is an internet business financial company that provides administration and custodial service for retirement plans to more than 150,000 accounts for people from all 50 states and 10 other countries, with over $10 billion of assets under his management. Dick's leadership, the company grew from 4 employees at its beginning to more than 400 today and still growing. Dick's commitment to Lorain County Community College and its students lives on in his company. At least 60% of Equity Trust employees have attended at least one class at LCCC, and 18% are currently enrolled at LCCC classes. Please join me in welcoming Richard Desich.
Thank you for that introduction. Good morning, everybody. I'd like to thank ACCT and its members and its guests who give me this opportunity to talk about the experiences I've had as a trustee and my personal experiences of growing and building a company and the relationship that it had with Lorain County Community College, which I think everybody in this room has heard about it today, haven't we? Have you heard of Lorain County Community College? Well, you're going to hear a lot more because I'm selling economic development, and I'm going to show you how we made it happen. And as I've always said, it's easy to do because it's like eating an elephant, one bite at a time, because it didn't happen overnight. So I'm going to tell you my story, a little bit about me, and then we'll get on about Lorain County Community College. Excuse me. Boys, that's a young guy there, isn't it? Well, my story was that I had graduated from Lorain High School and then went into the service and spent 4 years in the Navy. And I was fortunate to be stationed in California. And I attended community colleges out there and picked up a year of college. I transferred to Ohio State. And I graduated with a business degree and a major in finance. At that stage, I became a stockbroker and worked up to be #1 in my company as sales manager. And then I started my own brokerage firm. That was Mid-Ohio Securities. And from that point on, I raised over $50 million for partnerships in real estate, oil and gas, and I did another $50 million of private financing for corporations and equity fundraising. At that stage, two county commissioners were friends of mine, and they said, well, Dick, we need somebody young to get on the board. Would you like to serve on the college board? At that time, I was 30 years old. I said, sure, why not? I just got done graduating from college, and I knew the value of education, and I wanted to serve my community. So I got on the board, and I was the youngest trustee. I was 30 years old. And when I left after 35 years, I was still one of the youngest trustees. So what's that saying? I looked at this outside. I said, I was very proud that I was on the board for 35 years. I looked outside and saw these pictures, and people have been on boards for 40, 45, 50 years. Congratulations, people. It takes a lot of dedication to do that, a lot of time. You remember when you got appointed to the board, they only told you were going to be on there for one meeting a month type of thing? Well, we had a lot of meetings. Okay, so that was my story, and moving on to the college. Our college was started in, I think, 1963. We were the first college in Ohio, along with Cuyahoga Community College, to have the purpose of a community college. And then in 1965, we had our first permanent campus. I then got on the board in 1970. So there were like 3 or 4 buildings when I got on the board. And at that stage, job transfer programs, job training, continuing education. That was the purpose of the college. And I said, well, it's got to be more than that, because we just got rid of a cooking school, threw away $250,000 worth of equipment that we're teaching people to be cooks, short order cooks. I said, you know, what our county needs is something to help our businesses, help the businesses in Lorain County to grow, and help to attract businesses to come to Lorain County. And I said, what do we have? We have an industrial park here, decaying, empty buildings. Here's another one over here. And I said, what we really need is something nice and beautiful. And I said, the college here is beautiful. It has it, centrally located, easy to get to, a great image, and we had 40 acres of land. And we weren't using it then. I said, well, this would be an excellent place, because I'd heard about Silicon Valley and what they had done and how education and business work together. And so I said, okay, why don't we do this? Well, I went to our chairman of the board then, and the college president, and said, we can't do it. I said, why not? He says, that's not our mission. I said, what is our mission? There it is. And I said, okay, why don't we change it? And so our original mission was done in 1984. 21 years later, we changed the mission, and it says, whereas it has been determined that the official plan of the college should be amended to incorporate more specifically the opportunity for the college to serve more directly the business and industrial community in the college district and beyond, and that this service includes direct leadership, cooperation with businesses, industry, labor unions, schools, government, and other colleges in economic and human resource development. That sounds pretty good, doesn't it? Well, we passed that. There's a resolution. But guess what happened? It meant nothing. We had to go down to the Board of Regents and defend that issue why we wanted it. Could you believe that? In 1980, we had to tell them that economic development was important to our community and our community college. They listened, and they said, yeah, you could do that. So then, we started. That was easy. Now we got it approved. What's going to happen? Well, here's what's going to happen. The other thing I want to get before we get there, that mission changed in 1984, and now our current mission. And the thing about missions in colleges, they should always be changing. They shouldn't be stagnant. So if you look at your mission statement, and it doesn't include some of the things that we're talking about, you should consider doing it. Lorain Community College, an innovative leader in education, economic, community, cultural development, serves as a regional catalysts for change in a global economy through accessibility, affordability for academic and career-oriented education, lifelong learning, and community partnerships. That's the new one now. Now we're talking about region. And every time we did something was my community college, my area. How is it going to benefit us? And then when we said, well, if we do things for the community and we do it for the region, it's going to come back to help us. Here is the ingredients you need right now. You need a college president and a faculty with a vision. You need a board of trustees that have a vision and dedication to the college. You have to have community involvement. You have to have resources. And those resources are partnerships, finance, and education. Again, you have to update your mission, and you have to have a foundation. If you don't have a foundation, this is the most critical part of helping you get economic development and get recognition in your community, and we'll talk about that as we go along. It's not what you can do, it's what you will do. You're the people who are going to make it happen. The trustees and the president is going to guide that board and make it happen and put everything on the table and move it forward. Do you want to do that? Raise your hands if you want to do that. Let me see your hands. If you believe in economic development, you'll raise your hands. Because you're the ones who are going to go back after this conference and do something about it. And if you don't, you're going to come back here next year at another conference, and guess what you're going to do? Oh, I attended some meetings, it was great. I learned a lot, and I didn't do anything. Because what I did, when I came to these conferences, I went to all the meetings. And guess what? I went to one on a foundation. And I talked to people there. We had a panel discussion about some good ones and some bad ones and things that happened. I said, geez, this is outstanding. So I went back to my college, and I said to the president then, I says, I'm going to double the amount of money we raised in one day. And he said, how are you going to do that? I says, I'm going to fire everybody. At that stage, we had two public educators who were retired. We were paying them $50,000 a year, and they were raising $25,000. So I said, if we got rid of the department, we'd be $50,000 ahead, which we did. So then I said, look, it's the mission of the foundation and the college are together. There was no money in the foundation, and I said, the college has a responsibility. So it paid in our budget to take care of hiring a staff, computers, space, budgeted in there for the foundation. Because someday, that foundation would be on its own, and we wouldn't have to support it anymore. And the most important thing is that you have to set goals and get professional people in that department, number one. And you have to pay the going salary to get them. And that's part of getting into the game of raising money for your college. Raising money for scholarships, raising money for economic development, and raising money for buildings. So that's the first thing you're going to learn and you have to take back. I learned that. When we turned that around, it got the right person in there, guess what happened? $1 million,